Hey everyone, welcome to Two Car Pros. My name is Ryan, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to change the front brakes for a 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLA. This is just like every other brake job I've done on the channel, really easy. So let's don some eye protection and some gloves, lift up the vehicle, remove the wheel, and get into it. So before we get started on this brake job, let's just kind of note which way the holes are facing. They're kind of going backwards this way. And when you put the new rotor on, you just want to copy that because that's the way that the Mercedes has designed this rotor to function, and we're just going to follow their lead. The next thing we can do is just kind of move the whole assembly to a more workable position like that. So before we go any further, I just want to kind of point something out on the brake pads. You can see that this brake pad here has plenty of meat left on it, just there from the rotor to the actual metal of the brake pad. But look on this side, here's the metal of the brake pad, and right there is the pad material, and you can barely see it. It is barely there. And that's because the slide bolts need to be serviced. So don't worry, I'm going to teach you how to do that, but I wanted to show what that looks like when those slide bolts are just crying out for a service. And you really need to check both brake pads when you're doing an inspection, because you can look at the front one and go, oh, the brakes are fine, but in reality they're not. So the next thing we're going to do is take a 17mm wrench and put it on the slide bolt body itself, and then a 13mm socket on the head. And just buzz that right off of there. Do the same thing for the top one. Just remove that. And then what we can do is just kind of walk the caliper off like that, and just put it in a nice safe place so it's not hanging by the brake line. So the next thing we need to do is remove these two inverted Torx bolts, and they are a size 18, and I would use a breaker bar because they're going to be on pretty good, but a breaker bar makes short work of them. And then hold on to the caliper mounting bracket. You don't need to hold on to the rotor because it still has a fastener in it. And then just slide it straight off. So the next thing I'm going to do is take a T30 Torx and remove this fastener. When you remove this fastener, brace the rotor in case it wants to come off on you, because you don't want that to find your foot. You can even put one of the lug bolts in so there's no way it can fall off, and we'll just remove it. So for this next portion, put some safety goggles on, and I would get a wire brush. And what we're going to do is just clean up this flange surface, because we want the rotor to lay completely flat on the flange, and all this road grime and rust is going to prevent that. So now our flange is nice and clean and ready for our new rotor. So here's our brand new rotor, and the link is located down below in the description. What I'm going to do next is clean the entire rotor with some carburetor spray or brake clean. The reason I'm doing that is because most of the time this comes with some sort of oil on it, so it can sit from the manufacturing and warehouse for 10 years and still be fine. This one doesn't seem like it has anything on it, but I'm going to clean it off anyway, just out of habit, or just to be thorough. Cover my ground. There we go. Now the rotor's ready to go back on the car. So now we can put our rotor back on, making sure we line it up so the little set screw here is nice and in its home. And then what I'm going to do is just snug this down like wrist tight. I think the torque spec is like 7 foot-pounds. It's really light. I don't even have one that goes that low. Just you know, that's enough. You don't want to strip it out. It's really easy to do, and it's not doing anything besides just holding this on for assembly, because you got to remember the rim's going to go on here and the lugs are going to go through it, holding everything to here. So this is really just for assembly purposes. So here is our brake caliper bracket off the car, and what we're going to do is remove our pads. Should be able to just kind of slide them out, set them aside. We're going to hold on to one of them though, because we're going to use it in a minute. There we go. And what I'm going to do too is just remove the slides. Now we can go to kind of clean mode. What I'd like to do is just grab some brake clean and just hose the whole thing down, especially where the brake pads sit. And we're just going to clean that out. I'm going to grab my old friend wire brush and just brush this away. We just want to make this as clean as we possibly can, this surface where the brake pad actually sits. So go ahead and do that for all 4 of these areas. Now that I've wire brushed all those surfaces and cleaned them off really nicely with brake clean, now what I'm going to do is focus on inside of here because there's a bunch of grease and presumably grit and dirt. So spray some brake clean down in there, and then a bottle brush, linked down below in the description. These are super handy to have. And we're just going to do our best to get as much as we can out of there. Actually got a lot out. That's really cool. Now, you might be asking me, well, how do you get all the rest of it out of there? Well, put some eye protection back on, and I'm going to use some compressed air and just blow it down in there. And trust me, all that is going to get out of there, and I can look down in there and it's super, super clean. So go ahead and do that for that guy too. So here I have the replacement pads, link down below in the description. So we're going to load them in exactly how we found them, and there's no like inboard or outboard pad. They're exactly the same. So we can load them in by just putting them inside first and then just pushing them to the outside. Takes a little bit of handling there. There we go, looks pretty good. Now, a lot of people will ask me, well, Ryan, aren't you going to put grease right here where the brake pad sits? And some people do that, and I'll tell you why I don't like doing that. Because as these brakes come under heavy use, that grease is going to get really runny, and it can get on this braking surface and prevent them from working very well. So I just don't use it. Feel free to use that if you like, but that's my rationale behind it, and I've never had a problem not putting grease where my brake pad slides are. There we go. We just want to kind of leave them a little bit open so that way it can go over the rotor in just a moment. Now, we can focus on putting our slides back in, or you can put your slides back in before your pads, that's fine too. So on the slides here, just go ahead and remove the boot. Use some carburetor spray. Hose that down. Wipe that guy off of there. And then I'm going to put some silicone disc brake grease on there. We're just going to slather that up nice and good. Awesome. And the key to putting this back in is to actually put the boot on first, like this, and then put the slide in. That's how you do that. And then look how nice the return action is on this now that it's been properly serviced. Watch. Oh yeah, see that? So you have a spring back? That's perfect. And do the same thing for this guy. And there we go. Ready for action. So now what we're going to do is take our old brake pad, and we're going to use that as a nice force buffer between this and our C-clamp. So our C-clamp's just going to go like this. Normally I would do it the other way, but Mercedes decided to put a decorative plaque on their brake caliper, which is fine. We can just do it from the back side. And look how easy this is just going back in. It is just going right back into its home. We want this to be completely flush, so that way it will go over our new brake pads, which obviously have material here that our old ones don't. So we're just going to recess that piston all the way back into the caliper. And I'm not doing like a ton of pressure. This is not taking hardly any effort at all. It's real easy. And then it'll get to the point right here where it stops, and it's not going to go anymore. Stop. Stop cranking. You don't need to put any more pressure. You can break something. So just back off, remove that, and you can verify that this surface, the piston, is basically even with this rubber lip right here, and it's not going to go back any further. So this is ready. So I got my old bolt. I just put some Loctite on there, link down below in the description. And then what you want to do is just kind of line it up so it's going to, both pads are going to go saddle in the rotor. And just push it down. Line up the threads for the top ones, usually the easiest one to get. Just get them started like that, that's totally fine. And Loctite up the bottom one. And then grab that 18 inverted Torx, and we're just going to bring this down to touch. And do it a little bit at a time on each side. And then we're going to grab our torque wrench and put that bad boy at 92 foot-pounds. Alternatively, if you don't have a torque wrench, totally fine, just 2-arm tight. Again, I'm just going to break up the torque a little bit. There we go. Pretty good. I'm going to double check it. 92. 92. Excellent. So before we grab anything else, what I like to do is just grab the brake pads and just link them down on the rotor, because if this is off a little bit, well, your caliper's not going to go on. So just make sure that these are nice and squished. And then we're going to grab our caliper, making sure we're not twisting the brake line a bunch. So just kind of run your hand along it, make sure it doesn't have like a big corkscrew in it. And then we can try putting it back on, but our slides are probably going to be in the way, so you need to just kind of push it back with your finger. Just like that until it slides over, no big deal. And if you find that the caliper isn't going on, even you did all that, make sure the piston is fully retracted. And then I've already put some Loctite on these bolts. I'm going to replace them. There we go. And then all I'm going to do is wind these back down to touch. They're size 13. It's just spinning on me, so I've got to back it up. Alrighty, with my torque wrench loaded up to 22 foot-pounds, I'm going to go ahead and back up the nut here and tighten that down. 22 and 22. And if you don't have a torque wrench, that's perfectly fine. I would just go one arm tight on those. So I wanted to point out, because of course on the passenger side there is actually a difference. There's a wear sensor right here, but it's really, really easy. You don't really need to think about it too much. It just pulls straight out of the brake pad, and then it has a little sort of probe there that goes into that hole just there on the brake pad itself. And then you just insert it back in to its home. Just like that. So do that on the passenger side, but it's not the same on the driver's side. First time I've ever seen it be on one side, not the other, so kind of fun. So before we set off anywhere, we're going to sit in the driver's seat, and we're just going to fully depress the brake pedal all the way down to the floor very slowly. And then let it come back up very slowly, and what you're doing is pushing that piston back out of its home to take up the slack between the braking surface and the rotor. Oh, it's already getting pretty firm. You just want to keep doing this until you get a very firm pedal. Usually 3 to 6 pumps does the trick. But this feels excellent. Now before you go taking off down the road, you need to break in your brakes. Sometimes it's called bedding your brake pads. And if your brake pads came with instructions on how to do it, just go ahead and follow those. It might vary due to different brake compounds. But if they did not come with instructions, like the brake pads I use, they did not come with them. I just kind of stick with this basic formula that I use on brakes that don't come with it. So go around in your neighborhood, accelerate safely up to 10 miles an hour or so, touch on the brakes, let off. Accelerate back up to 10 miles an hour, touch on the brakes down to about 5, and then let off. And keep doing that until you get a nice feeling brake. Sometimes you might even hear it sound a little weird at first, and then they get broken in and it sounds perfectly fine. Then once you hear that sound change, typically the brakes are broken in correctly and you can use your car as normal. So that is how to replace the front brakes on your 2018 Mercedes GLA. Very, very easy. This is just like any other front brake job you've ever done in your life, except a whole lot more expensive if you take it to the dealer. I think the dealer wants to charge something like $750 just to do the front brakes on this. It did not cost anywhere near that with the pads and rotors. You could add in the pads, rotors, and tools, and you'll still be hundreds of dollars cheaper than taking this to somebody. And this is definitely something you can do at home in your garage. If you found this video helpful or interesting at all, please consider becoming a member by clicking that join button down below. It's a direct way to help my channel out, and I so appreciate it. Barring that, a like, comment, subscription go a long way in telling YouTube that I did a good job, and I'd appreciate that as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.